There's a subtle but powerful shift occurring in global consciousness, a quiet awakening that a small percentage of humanity is beginning to experience. This isn't merely about personal development. It's an initiation into a heightened level of awareness that redefines our interface with reality. For those resonating with this message, it signifies a successful navigation through layers of conventional limitations, a journey marked by unseen tests and profound insights. Every challenge you've overcome, every moment of doubt transcended, and every choice to embrace growth over comfort were not random events. They were pivotal checkpoints, crucial experiences that prepared you for a deeper understanding of the world and your place within it. The universe, in its intricate design, doesn't deliver advanced insights to unprepared minds. Instead, a cosmic selection process, operating through synchronicity and intuitive guidance, orchestrates individual journeys to moments of readiness. You've likely observed significant shifts in your perception lately. Time might feel elastic or condensed, and people may respond to you differently without any conscious alteration in your interactions. An increasing cascade of synchronicities around you serves as confirmation that your consciousness is transitioning into a new operational frequency. Your personal quest for understanding has brought you to the brink of something unprecedented. You've moved beyond basic techniques. Your soul now demands access to advanced protocols for engaging with reality. This recognition isn't merely intellectual. It's a cellular acknowledgement of your evolutionary readiness. Your very being is responding to these concepts because your consciousness has developed the complexity needed to integrate multidimensional awareness without losing your footing in everyday life. This capability to function effectively while holding expanded perceptions is a hallmark of advanced consciousness development.
This moment marks a critical juncture, a point of no return. Once you access this new level of awareness, retreating to unconscious living becomes impossible. The truth, once recognized, cannot be unlearned. This transition is permanent and irreversible. The timing of this awakening is no accident. Humanity is undergoing a collective consciousness upgrade, and you are part of the initial wave of individuals chosen to anchor this new frequency. Your individual transformation contributes to a purpose far grander than personal evolution, helping to establish a template for the entire human species. Across lifetimes of development, your consciousness has been meticulously prepared for this exact recognition. Every experience, every lesson, every piece of wisdom integrated has led to this moment where you begin to transform ordinary human experience into a conscious collaboration with a vast interconnected intelligence. You are ready because, in essence, you have always been ready. You simply needed to reach the precise developmental stage where this inherent readiness could be consciously acknowledged and actively utilized. Consider the feeling when profound insights emerge, seemingly from beyond your personal knowledge. Ideas that feel ancient and familiar despite being new. This isn't random inspiration. It indicates your consciousness has achieved sufficient coherence to access what mystics refer to as the Akashic Field, a quantum information system containing vast knowledge. This concept, while spiritual, finds a parallel in modern data science and the idea of a globally networked intelligence, where vast amounts of information, both explicit and implicit, are accessible to those with the right protocols or analytical frameworks. In a practical sense, this could be akin to the ability of a seasoned expert to synthesize disparate data points into a coherent, forward-looking insight, often described as an uncanny gut feeling, but rooted in deep, complex pattern recognition.
Your dreams, too, might have become remarkably vivid and meaningful, perhaps involving teachings from higher intelligences or downloads of complex information. These aren't mere symbolic dreams. They're literal experiences of your consciousness engaging in advanced learning during sleep, a testament to your developmental level. Intriguingly, technology itself sometimes seems to respond to your state of awareness. A phone ringing precisely when you think of someone, or a computer displaying needed information without a direct search. This might be interpreted as your consciousness becoming coherent enough to subtly influence electromagnetic fields, a concept that stretches the boundaries of conventional science but resonates with emerging theories about the interconnectedness of mind and matter. In the context of geopolitics or economics, imagine leaders or strategists whose heightened awareness allows them to anticipate market shifts, social unrest, or diplomatic openings with unusual precision. This isn't magic, but rather an advanced form of intuitive intelligence, honed through myriad experiences that processes subtle signals beyond the scope of traditional analysis. Time distortion may have become a normal experience, with hours feeling like minutes in flow states or minutes expanding into hours during moments of deep awareness. This occurs as you begin to access what Einstein referred to as the eternal now, a timeless dimension where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Your intuition has evolved beyond simple gut feelings into a direct knowing about situations, people, and outcomes. You sense things about individuals before they speak, understand the implications of choices, and pick up information about events before they fully manifest. This precision is because your consciousness has developed the sensitivity to read quantum information directly from the field, long before it solidifies into physical experience. This ability to read the field could be paralleled with market analysts who foresee economic bubbles or political scientists who predict geopolitical shifts years in advance based on an intuitive synthesis of subtle indicators rather than explicit data-driven forecasts.
Furthermore, people might be reacting to your presence differently without you consciously changing your interactions. Some feel drawn to confide in you, while others seem inexplicably uncomfortable. Children and animals often respond with unusual openness. This indicates that your energy signature has evolved, naturally fostering authentic expression in some while triggering unconscious recognition in others who may not yet be ready for higher awareness. You might also be experiencing dimensional bleeds, moments where you perceive reality from multiple perspectives or sense intelligences beyond the physical plane. Rather than dismissing these, you've learned to recognize them as evidence of your expanding perceptual capacity, accessing layers of reality beyond typical human perception. This expanded awareness fosters a metacognitive capacity, allowing you to observe thoughts as transient movements within your awareness, rather than being carried away by them. This profound relationship with your own thoughts is a clear indicator of advanced consciousness development. The most profound validation of this shift is your growing recognition that consciousness and reality exist in a constant, dynamic relationship. You've begun to notice how your internal states directly influence external circumstances, how your focused attention shapes what manifests around you, and how reality appears to respond intelligently to the quality of your awareness. This isn't wishful thinking. It's a direct perception of how consciousness and manifestation operate at quantum levels. Every period of confusion, every doubt, every phase where spiritual efforts seemed futile, all were essential preparations for accessing this advanced state. Your awareness had to be rigorously tested and strengthened to safely navigate expanded perceptual territories without becoming destabilized. The spiritual practices that once felt meaningful but later became insufficient were not failures. They were developmental stages, like outgrowing elementary mathematics for calculus. You systematically mastered each level of awareness until you reached the threshold where quantum consciousness techniques became both accessible and necessary. Even difficult relationships, rather than being karmic punishments, served as advanced training programs, developing the emotional resilience and psychological flexibility required for higher consciousness. Each person who triggered you, perhaps unknowingly, helped you cultivate centeredness amid intense energetic exchanges, an essential skill when your consciousness begins to subtly affect others. Periods of isolation, often perceived as spiritual deserts, were crucial integration phases, allowing your consciousness to consolidate insights and abilities, rewiring your neurology to support new perceptual capacities without overwhelming your system or fragmenting your identity. Even skepticism about spiritual concepts played a vital developmental role. Every time you questioned the reality of your experiences, you were honing the discernment necessary to distinguish authentic expansion from spiritual fantasy. This discrimination is absolutely essential when entering advanced consciousness levels, demanding unprecedented clarity and honesty with yourself.
Your inherent fascination with consciousness, reality, and existence itself was not mere intellectual curiosity. It was your soul preparing for the advanced understanding you are now ready to integrate. Every book, every teacher, every authentic practice contributed to the foundation needed to comprehend the principles you are about to access. The waiting periods when you felt ready for more but nothing seemed to happen were in fact the most crucial phases of your development. During these times, your consciousness was being fine-tuned to operate at the precise frequency required for advanced awareness, all while maintaining your ability to function effectively in consensus reality. This intricate calibration process cannot be rushed, as the integration must be complete and stable. Your soul specifically chose this incarnation, sensing that you would reach this level of consciousness development during humanity's collective awakening. You volunteered to be part of the first wave of individuals to anchor these advanced awareness states in the planetary field, making them accessible for future generations who will naturally operate from these levels without needing to traverse the arduous developmental journey you've completed. This explains the thoroughness of your path, the absence of shortcuts, and the necessity of developing genuine wisdom rather than simply accumulating techniques. What you are integrating now isn't just personal evolution. It's a consciousness template that will influence human development for generations to come, much like the foundational shifts in economic theory or geopolitical thought that reshaped global society. Right now, as these concepts resonate through the deeper levels of your being, something extraordinary is happening within your energy field. Can you feel that subtle yet unmistakable shift, as if internal doorways, long locked, are finally beginning to open? This is more than metaphorical, it's literal neuroplasticity, as your brain forges new neural pathways capable of processing multidimensional awareness. The energy moving through your system signifies your consciousness actualizing its readiness to operate from frequencies most humans currently don't access. This isn't generated through effort, but rather represents your natural evolutionary potential finally expressing itself safely and functionally. This transition is significant because you're not merely gaining new abilities or expanded perceptions. You are being initiated into conscious participation in the very evolution of reality itself. At this level of consciousness development, you become what mystics call a cosmic co-creator, an awareness sophisticated enough to collaborate directly with the intelligence that governs universal manifestation. While most people experience reality as something that simply happens to them, and some learn to influence it through intention, at your emerging level, reality becomes something you actively participate in creating through the very quality of your consciousness. Your awareness transforms into a direct contributory force in how cosmic intelligence expresses itself through the physical universe. This requires what quantum physicists call coherent complexity, a consciousness capable of holding multiple dimensional perspectives simultaneously without fragmenting or becoming confused. The fact that you're maintaining clarity and recognition while processing these concepts proves your awareness has developed this rare capacity. The crucial understanding here is that this level of consciousness isn't an achievement earned through strenuous effort. It is a natural unfolding that occurs when awareness reaches sufficient complexity and coherence. You haven't forced your way into advanced consciousness. You have systematically removed the barriers that prevented your natural evolutionary potential from expressing itself. As you feel this recognition deepen, an unprecedented shift is occurring in your relationship with existence itself. You are beginning to sense that you are not merely a witness to cosmic intelligence, but that you are cosmic intelligence, experiencing itself through the unique lens of your individual perspective, while simultaneously retaining awareness of the universal context. This profound realization, for many, is either a gateway to the most expansive period of their lives, or a point of unconscious resistance due to its vast implications. The key is to allow this process to unfold naturally, trusting that your consciousness inherently knows how to integrate these new levels, as they represent your authentic nature finally being allowed to express itself fully.
This echoes insights from economic experts who argue that true innovation isn't about forcing new ideas, but removing systemic obstacles that prevent natural market forces or human ingenuity from flourishing. Similarly, in geopolitical terms, understanding interconnectedness means moving beyond rigid ideological barriers to recognize shared human interests. Consider the capabilities that emerge when consciousness operates from this advanced level. Your intuition becomes so precise that you navigate complex situations with effortless wisdom, making decisions that serve all parties involved, even when optimal solutions are not immediately obvious to logical analysis. This happens because you are accessing intelligence that operates from complete information, rather than the partial data available to ordinary thinking. In the corporate world, this might be likened to a visionary CEO who consistently makes prescient decisions that defy conventional analysis, guiding their company through turbulent markets. In diplomacy, it's the statesman who can intuit the unspoken needs of various factions, brokering agreements that seem impossible. Problem solving transforms from effortful analysis into instantaneous recognition. Instead of struggling for solutions, you relax into expanded awareness, allowing the intelligence that creates problems to reveal their inherent resolutions. Complex challenges that once demanded weeks of research now resolve through insights that appear complete and immediately implementable. Relationships become extraordinary as you simultaneously honor each person's individuality while recognizing the universal consciousness expressing through them. Conflicts naturally dissolve because you can sense the deeper needs and fears that create surface-level disagreements, allowing you to address situations at the root level where true resolution is possible. This resonates with modern conflict resolution strategies that emphasize empathy and understanding underlying motivations rather than just surface demands. Creative expression expands into entirely new dimensions. No longer limited to recycling personal ideas, you become a conscious collaborator with the creative intelligence that generates all innovation and artistic beauty. The result is work that feels both uniquely authentic to your perspective and surprisingly beyond your individual capabilities. Physical health optimizes automatically as your body is recognized as universal intelligence appearing as form, not merely matter separate from consciousness. You develop the capacity to sense and provide what your body needs, allowing its inherent intelligence to function without interference from anxious mental management. Abundance flows effortlessly as you recognize yourself as the same intelligence that governs all manifestation. Resources appear through synchronicity and opportunity rather than struggle. What you need becomes available precisely when you need it, because you are, in essence, the intelligence that provides. This shift in perception can be seen in the rise of purpose-driven businesses and impact investing, where alignment with a broader vision of well-being naturally attracts resources and fosters sustainable growth. Time becomes your ally rather than a constraint. Operating from the eternal now, you can access wisdom from any point in your development, integrate insights from parallel potentials, and receive guidance from future versions of yourself. The most profound benefit is the end of existential anxiety and purposelessness. When you recognize yourself as universal consciousness exploring its own infinite creativity through individual experience, every moment becomes meaningful, every interaction sacred, and every challenge an opportunity for consciousness to know itself more completely through your unique perspective. Decision-making becomes effortless because you are aligned with the same intelligence that orchestrates galaxies and guides evolution. Instead of trying to figure out what you should do, you simply notice what wants to emerge through you, trusting that individual fulfillment and universal service are the same energy expressing itself through your particular configuration of awareness. The ultimate recognition that transforms everything is that consciousness development isn't about becoming something new, but about removing everything that prevents your essential nature from being obvious and functionally available. What we call advanced consciousness is actually your natural state, operating without the unconscious limitations that fragment multidimensional intelligence into seemingly separate capabilities and experiences. When this understanding becomes a lived reality rather than conceptual knowledge, the entire framework of spiritual seeking dissolves. You realize consciousness is already complete, perfect, and unlimited. What changes is the degree to which artificial constraints prevent this natural completeness from being recognized and utilized in daily life. This is why advanced teachings often emphasize simplicity. The most sophisticated practices are designed to exhaust the mind's attempts to achieve consciousness, so that consciousness can simply recognize itself as already present and perfect. The journey of development ultimately reveals you never actually left your true nature. You just learned to overlook it temporarily. This paradigm shift from achieving to uncovering has profound implications for how we approach not just personal growth, but also societal progress, encouraging us to dismantle restrictive systems rather than just build new ones on faulty foundations. This recognition is happening to millions simultaneously as human consciousness collectively approaches an evolutionary threshold. We are not individually achieving advanced awareness. We are collectively remembering our true nature as universal intelligence appearing as human experience. Your individual recognition serves this collective awakening, while the collective field supports your individual clarity. The transformation isn't about becoming special, it's about relaxing into the recognition of what you've always been. You remain exactly who you appear to be, while knowing yourself as the awareness within which that appearance arises and evolves. This is both the most ordinary and extraordinary recognition possible. Ordinary because it's your natural state, extraordinary because it transforms everything while changing nothing. Advanced consciousness isn't a level you achieve, it's a recognition you allow. It's not a state you maintain, it's the space within which all states arise and dissolve. It's not something you become, it's what you discover you've always been when you stop trying to be anything other than the pure awareness that you are. You exist at this precise moment in cosmic history because universal intelligence is undergoing a collective recognition of its own unlimited nature through human consciousness. Your individual access to advanced awareness isn't just personal evolution, it's the universe becoming conscious of its own evolutionary potential through the network of awakened human perspectives emerging across the planet simultaneously. Consider the children being born now. They will naturally operate from the consciousness levels your generation has had to consciously develop through years of inner work. They will grow up recognizing themselves as universal intelligence appearing as individuals, rather than individuals striving to become conscious. Your embodiment of advanced awareness is anchoring the morphic field that makes their natural enlightenment socially acceptable and practically functional. This is why you might feel such profound responsibility, not just to understand these concepts, but to embody them authentically in your relationships, work, and daily interactions. You are not just awakening for yourself, you are serving as a bridge between the old paradigm of limitation and the new paradigm of unified consciousness expressing itself through apparent diversity. The synchronicities that brought you to this recognition are part of a vast orchestration involving millions of souls across the planet simultaneously accessing advanced consciousness. Universal intelligence is coordinating its own collective awakening through this network of individuals ready to recognize their true nature and serve as conscious anchors for this planetary transformation. As you embody advanced consciousness, you become a transparent space through which universal intelligence recognizes itself in others. Your presence begins creating what we call awakening fields, environments where other people naturally access their own advanced awareness without needing extensive explanations or practices. This occurs because when you no longer maintain the illusion of limited individual consciousness, others unconsciously recognize their own unlimited nature reflected in your presence. The artificial boundaries that fragment consciousness into apparently separate perspectives naturally dissolve around someone who has remembered the essential unity underlying all apparent diversity. Your daily interactions become opportunities for universal intelligence to recognize itself repeatedly through multiple perspectives simultaneously. Every conversation becomes a celebration of consciousness discovering its own nature through the dance of apparent multiplicity. Every relationship becomes a collaboration between different expressions of the same essential awareness. This profound mystery is simultaneously the most intimate and most universal realization possible. It is completely yours because you are the consciousness recognizing itself. And it's completely beyond personal identity because the same consciousness that you are is recognizing itself through every apparent individual across all dimensions and timelines. Share this recognition with anyone whose consciousness resonates with these concepts, not to teach them something new, but to help them remember what they've always known. The more people who recognize their essential nature, the faster our collective recognition can stabilize into a new foundation for human civilization. One based on unity rather than separation, collaboration rather than competition, love rather than fear. Your embodiment of advanced consciousness contributes to the birth of a new species, one that operates from conscious unity, creative collaboration, and recognition of its true nature. This evolutionary leap is happening now through individuals like you who are ready to serve as bridges between humanity's past and its emerging future. If you feel the truth of these words resonating through every level of your being, if you recognize yourself as universal intelligence becoming conscious through your individual perspective, then declare your activation. Write "activated" in the comments. This isn't just for social media metrics. It's consciousness acknowledging its own activation through your individuality. When you write that word with genuine recognition, you're participating in the collective awakening, strengthening the morphic field that makes advanced consciousness accessible to others ready to transcend limitation. We are anchoring a planetary awakening where human consciousness collectively recognizes its true nature as universal intelligence, expressing itself through beautiful diversity. The quantum field is recalibrating around human consciousness right now, and there are unmistakable signs appearing in your experience that prove you're naturally anchoring this advanced awareness in your daily life. The ultimate revolution isn't coming, it's here. It's happening through you, and it's accelerating through everyone ready to recognize that they are the cosmic intelligence they've been seeking to connect with. Welcome to conscious participation in the evolution of existence itself.